Good morning and good afternoon to our community, wherever you are. I am excited to have another day of 12 Days of Experts. And on today, we have an amazing person who's going to share tips and strategies of lead generation so that you can grow your business organically. And if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, or you can inbox me the questions and we'll make sure that the questions come through so that we can get them answered for you on today. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Money Briggs, and he's going to teach everyone on lead generation.
Thank you so very much for having me here today. This has been one of the things I've been super excited and amped up about to share with the community. My name, again, Money Briggs. I'm an award-winning entrepreneur. Over the last 4 years, created or led four six-figure businesses. We created or managed three of them, led one of them, and we did it through a systematic way. And that's what I want to talk to you about today is how do we excite a base? How do we move people through a process that takes them from not knowing us to finding and following us to actually committing some level of value in exchange for our value? And so if you're somebody that's out there and you're looking to increase your sales fundamentally, in order to increase your sales fundamentally, you have to be able to do this one thing. And that, of course, is lead generation. So I have a few rules that I want to lay out for you before we get hopped into today. I believe we have about 20-30 minutes that I'm going to pour everything that I possibly can. I just need you to commit to me. Follow some of these rules. Number one is that you get in a quiet place, that you're minimizing distractions, that you're giving your undivided attention so that you're completely focused right now. Number two, take notes. I'm going to give away some of my best strategies, so please take notes. Number three, engage. Reach out, send questions, talk back. Let me know when a quote is impactful. Tag me on social media or drop a money bag in the chat, and then you can share it on social media. Don't let me be your best kept secret. You can follow me on Instagram at money.briggs or on Facebook at moneybriggs. All right. So the core components that I'm going to teach you today have been responsible for earning entrepreneurs who tap into them millions of dollars. And personally, it's helped me to generate $1 million plus in my businesses over the last 3 years. And outside of that, I've even been able to generate thousands of leads, right? Even yesterday, I was on a stage for 3 minutes and I was able to generate 25 leads, the most important metric in business. There are a bunch of numbers that people would tell you about in business. There's, of course, your revenue. There's your profit. There is your, if you're running ads, there's the cost per click. There is your conversion rate. There is so many other numbers that people talk about. But none of these numbers actually matter if you don't have marketing, right? That's like the overall overarching number. The more people who know about your business, the more people you are in front of, the more people have an opportunity to make a decision. But putting marketing out there is something that is so wide range and widespread. The number that you really want to focus on, the most important number that you want to focus on is your lead generation. This is the amount of people who have taken the first step to start to work with me. Now, if people don't know I exist, they can't take the first step. That's correct. But there are people who know that you exist, but they don't see value in the offers that you're making. And so we don't even want to highlight those people. We want to really hone in on who are the people who know that I exist, and who are the people who have raised their hand to say that what you have is valuable to me. Now, here's something that you may be wondering. Okay, is this going to work for me? When you start to teach these strategies, will it work for me? And yes, it doesn't matter if you're in the finance realm. That's where my original business was, insurance and financial services, or real estate or mortgage lender. If you're in management, like you do social media management or property management, or you're an executive assistant who does calendar management, or if you have a digital online business where you're doing coaching, e-commerce, course creating, or software company. Doesn't matter if you're a local business, a restaurant, barber, baker, carpenter, plumber, roofer, or retail store, you need lead generation inside of your business. All right. So here's my promise to you that by the end of our talk today, you're going to know these three things. You're going to know how to identify more leads, how to increase the velocity of your leads, and how to improve the capture of your leads. All right. My promise is to you. So I want you to write this down. As a business owner, you were made with a purpose, for a purpose, and on purpose. Think about that. As a business owner, you were made intentionally, and more importantly, your business is the answer to someone's question, the healing to someone's pain, and the solution to someone's problem. I want that to truly soak in, that when you start to talk about your business and you start to talk about the lead generation, there is a pivotal point in this process in which you have to take ownership that the thing that I am offering has value. The thing that I'm offering is life changing. The thing that I'm offering is able to change the trajectory of the legacies of people who take me up on my offer. Like, you have to have this deep seated, deep rooted feeling that what I do is meaningful. Why is that so important? What's so important about that is that you realize that before you can generate a lead, you must know that someone that you were created, crafted, and called to impact. It's so important that you realize that what you have is valuable so that you can identify who is this valuable to. Right? So you are called to heal someone's pain. You are called to answer someone's question. You are called to be a solution to someone's problem. And once you understand that, now you have to say, okay, who is the someone? Who are the people? What is the demographic? What is the target audience that I have, that I was called, created, and crafted to impact? And until you do that, until you identify your leads, until you identify who you're created for, your messaging will not be meaningful. Oh, that's so good. You should write that down. Until I know who I was created for, my messaging will not be meaningful. So what we have to do, we have to identify our audience. We have to discover who is the group of people that I was meant to impact. Think about that. Where are they locally or regionally? Where are they in their mindset right now? Where are they in their life cycle right now? What matters to them? What passions do they have? And we could look at that as a target audience, and then we need to narrow that down even more. And we need to think about the picture perfect person. That's what creates your PPP. That's your picture perfect person. If I had one person that I wanted to work with, just one, what would they look like? How old would they be? What would their marital status look like? How many children would they have? How old would the children be? What would they do for work? How much money would they make? What problems are they facing? How does my solution impact their day? How does my solution fit into their perfect day? The more that I'm able to understand, the more that I'm able to identify, the more that I'm able to create a picture around the people that I was created and purposed to impact, the easier it becomes for me to communicate with them. So when I start to do the marketing, when I start to do the messaging resonates and they feel as if I'm talking to them specifically because I've already had them in my mind and my intention had been set around the problems that they solve. So I have to learn how to speak their language, right? So I want you to take time when we talk about lead generation, why is it so important? Again, as we talked about a moment ago, it's important because we need to know who finds value in what we offer. And once we identify who finds value in what we offer, we have to know how to speak to them in their language. Now, one thing that we could do is we can take a shotgun approach, and a shotgun approach is we're just going to throw anything out there and pray that something sticks, right? But let me ask you a question. If we were in a ballroom or in a restaurant or at a bar or in a church service or on a football field, and there was a large amount of people who were around us, and I step in and I just say, hey, what are the chances of you looking in my direction? But if I step in and I say, hey, James, hey, Michael, hey, Jennifer, if I step in and I say your name and I identify you and I call you by what you identify as or who you identify as, how much more likely are you to turn in my direction now that I have specified who I desire to communicate with? It will be exponentially an exponential increase in the or the possibility of you looking in my direction once I've identified you and once I've spoken your language. Now, I could have the best offer ever, right? But if I have the best offer ever and my native tongue is Spanish and you're only speaking in English, or my native tongue is English and you're only speaking in Spanish, then although you may have the best opportunity and the best offer, because you're not speaking in my language, I don't understand it, I won't take the next step forward. So I have to speak in the language, and I'm not just talking about Spanish to English, but I have to use the words that will resonate with the people. I have to talk about the scenarios that will resonate with the people. I have to talk about the problems that will resonate with the people. If I'm going to generate leads, I first have to be I first have to be valuable in their eyes. All right. So we want to understand our target audience. The next thing that we want to do is we want to increase the volume of leads. And that is, now that we have their attention, now that we have their minds and their eyes are set upon us, now what we have to do is we have to initiate the value exchange. This is where we increase the volume of leads. This is where, now that we've identified them, now we want them to begin to raise their hands. Okay. I believe that just because someone likes your content, just because someone comments on your content, someone may even share your content, that does not make them a lead. Like, when we talk about a lead, I am talking about someone who has self-identified as an individual who is willing to exchange something valuable that they have in exchange for something valuable that you have. And this is a part that if we don't get this part right, it could be frustrating. You could find yourself on the hamster wheel chasing every signal and every sign that someone is agreeing with you. And just because they're agreeing with you, you take it as a buying signal. But leads are individuals who have given you buying signals, right? And one of the best ways that they can give you a buyer signal is after you begin the process of offering valuable content. Yes, they like, yes, they may or they may not engage, right? But what we want to do is we want to have a process by which we take the influence that we have on the platform where we have earned influence, meaning that we take in people through a couple of purchases. What do I mean through a couple of purchases? Did you know that the transaction between dollar to value isn't the first sale that you actually make in the customer's journey? The first sale that you actually make in the customer journey is the sale where someone goes from not knowing you to finding or following you. The first sale that you make is that you have given me so much value that I want to continue to learn from you. So I'm going to add you as a friend. I'm going to follow you, right? Like I'm going to connect with you on social media. And I oftentimes I'm going to find you because you're offering some valuable content. The way that you express your message is different. The way that you articulate the essence of what you do is different. There's a value proposition that you have that puts you in a different category than everyone else who is doing the same thing as you. So I'm attracted to your message. So you have to make your messaging sexy in this way. And you have to create content that is attractive. And as you create the content that's attractive, people begin to not only follow you, but they begin to engage with you. And once they begin to engage with you, now you want to take this earned influence and you want to transfer this into the next sell point is you want to go from earned influence to having earned data that you know somebody's name, you know their first name, their last name, you know some of their hobbies, some of the data that social media would give you. That's earned data. And you want to turn it into own data. That is that I'm taking you off of social media and I'm putting you into my orbit. I'm putting you into my ecosystem. And the bridge that does that is you can create what we will call a lead magnet. Right? This is just one of the ways. And a lead magnet is going to offer someone some valuable information in exchange for their more valuable information. So now I am taking someone from just liking or following, and I'm taking them through a process to where now I'm going to get your first name, your last name, your email address, your phone number. And in exchange for this currency, in exchange for what you find valuable, your personal information, I am going to give you something that is even more valuable, which is answering the question you have, healing the pain that you have, or solving the problem that you have. So this lead magnet is the second sell that we're going to make. Even if it's not for $1. Understand that there is an exchange of value that is taking place, that they're giving you something that is valuable to them in exchange for something that is valuable to you, right? So now we can have different types of lead magnets. Your lead magnet could be an ebook. Your lead magnet could be a short video training. Your lead magnet could be an audio or a podcast. Your lead magnet could be an interview, a video interview of you and someone else, a behind the scenes take of you doing something, a case study, a testimonial. Your lead magnet could be any of these things, right? In exchange for their information. So we want to increase the volume of leads. We have to move people off of the social media platforms and into our own ecosystems. And when we lead them into our own ecosystem, we have to improve the capture of the leads. That's adding our leads to our CRM or our customer relationship management tools. So now we own the data, and we could do that through different ways. Like in order for them to receive the deliverable or the lead magnet, which was either that ebook or that audio course or that video course, that testimonial, the podcast, or the interview. Like if they're going to get that, we want to take them somewhere in which they initiate the process of the transaction of their data into our system. And that could be a landing page where, hey, you put your information in and I will send you an email or I will send you a text message with this. Why is this so important? This is so important because depending upon the lead magnet that you're offering, you know the interest of this person. Right? So if I offer multiple things as we do, we offer marketing assistance, we offer business coaching, we offer a community with some Christian entrepreneurs. We offer I have an agency where we do insurance and financial services. Financial plannings and things of that nature. Essentially, what we do is we help entrepreneurs to build wealth and to shield wealth. So we help them to increase their revenue. And then once they make the money, we help them to manage the money that they make. And so I may have someone who is more keen towards wanting to know about the financial planning component, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they want to know about marketing strategies. And so the lead magnet that I'm going to create and the landing page that I'm going to direct them to is going to be more around the financial planning than it is going to be about the marketing. And as I'm doing this, I'm also going to segment these individuals so that they don't get messaging that is not meaningful to them. They only will get messaging about financial planning based off of how we enter them into the system and based off of what the landing page is by them taking this particular lead magnet, by them going to this landing page, by them following through with the exchange of their information. They're raising their hands and saying, hey, this is what I find valuable. So that is connected to my call to action. That when you're making social media posts, when you're going out and you're creating valuable content, you have to have a call to action of what is the next step in working with you. And that call to action should be directly connected to the content that people are engaging with. Again, you don't want to have a post around financial planning and then you have a lead magnet or a landing page that's dealing with marketing. You want the two to coincide. This opens up a deeper conversation around the customer journey. What are the preordained steps that individuals take to go from not knowing you to becoming a brand advocate? And so we know that, hey, if I want to lead them down the path of marketing or of business coaching, then what I want to do at the top of my content is I want to speak about the problems that they have that I can offer a solution to. I want to give them testimonials of how individuals just like them have also seen these solutions become evident in their lives. And then I want to invite them to the landing page where they can get more details. There's continuity between the content and the offer and the deliverable. All right. So landing page are one way. Second is automation. I told you earlier that I was on the stage for about 3 minutes. And in 3 minutes, I collected 25 leads last night. In 3 minutes, collected 25 leads. How did I do that? I use automation. That's another thing that you could do. You could use automation if you're doing social media, if you're going live. You can say, hey, comment this word, and there's technology and automation that would allow a link to automatically be sent to everyone who comments the word. And then they're taken to the landing page. And from the landing page, they put in their information, and you've already pre-programmed your system that once this form is filled out, you're going to send out this email. And then there's a follow-up sequence. So you can use automation in that way. You can use text automation, which is one of my favorite pieces of automation, because I actually am able to reach out to the person after they text. After they send a text, they automatically get their deliverable, but I can call them. I can follow up with them. I can ask them if they found value, and we can have a deeper conversation. And then the other part is your calendars. Maybe you don't have time to create a landing page. Maybe you don't necessarily want the text message automations, but you want to have some discovery calls. You want to get people to talk to you. So you could do, hey, schedule a consultation. They put their information in, they get sent the link. You have their information. They get one-on-one time with you or group time with you, however you set it up. But that is another option and another opportunity. Now, one thing that I know about this is that your lead generation path will have to have these three steps, right? Social media, your landing page, and the CRM. Not again, the landing page, we could mix that up. That could be automation, that could be a calendar, but we're going to use the tailwinds of social media. Or you could do this also in networking events and in person. I use a lot of this in networking events as well when I'm in person. I find that social media kind of helps you to grow a little faster if you're creating valuable content that people are willing to share. Social media helps you to spread beyond your local region if that's something that you're wanting to do. For some reason, I find more success outside of my local region than I do inside of my local region and certain aspects of the business. All right. So your social media could also be translated or could also be substituted for networking events, for speaking engagements, wherever you have multiple people's attention at once, directing them next to the asset, right? The asset will be the landing page or the automation or the calendar. But ultimately, the most important thing is that we get them into our CRM. All right. Takes a lot of mindset to do this, right? And so there's a lot of inhibitions that people generally have when it comes to lead generation, when it comes to reaching out to others, when it comes to that call to action, when it comes to asking others to share their information. There are a lot of insecurities that oftentimes creep up. There are a lot of thoughts that block us from performing the activities. Have you noticed that a lot of times it's not that you don't know what to do? It's just that you haven't committed the action to doing what you know what to do. Have you ever noticed that there are a lot of times where someone will do something and you say, man, that was just in my mind, right? But there was another voice that was behind in the rear view. There's another voice that was in the back seat that was saying, man, you're going to look silly if you do that. Man, if you put that call to action out and nobody comments, what people are going to think that you're a failure. People are going to think that you're a flop. People are going to, where there's so many thoughts that come up that prevent us from operating our business in the best way that we can, right? And that is an area that I would love to help you with. So if you text mindset to 757-703-3211, I have a training that I did just on mindset and just on how to develop a mindset that is going to help you to implement what you just learned. You know, one thing that I know is that if you pour water into a jug with holes in it, the jug is going to cause there to be a leak. And the same thing is with the summit, with the 12 days that you've been getting so much great information from. If you don't have some closure in some of the holes in your mindset, a lot of the strategies that you're hearing about, you won't implement because you'll be too focused on failure. And so I want to help you to make the most of not just this day, but all of the days in the 12-day challenge by offering you some help with mindset. And with that being said, I will open it up to any Q&A that we may have.
The first question is, can you state the different stages of the sale?
Yes. So I gave a shorter version of it. So I will restate. Your first one is taking someone from not knowing you to finding or following you. That's the phase that I call attraction. How do you take someone from not knowing you to finding or following you? And then going from finding or following you, the next stage will be acquisition. Acquisition stage is taking them from finding or following you to funding or financing you, i.e., they became a customer. Now, in between these two stages, in between the attraction and the acquisition, is your lead generation. And your lead generation is where they exchange something valuable to them, their data, their information, in exchange for the value that you have, which is going to be your lead magnet.
Okay. And the next question is, can you give an example of what you would consider to be value content on social media?
Yeah, value content is the content that helps. So, so I'm going to give one like a definition, and then I'm going to kind of give an example. So, value content is a content that helps your ideal client to solve their problem in a light way, but helps them to become aware that you are their solution. Right. And what that content could look like could be you going live on Facebook. I think one of the best things that we can do in social media are things like this, where you can collaborate with others, but you don't have to do it in a Zoom summit. You could just do a Facebook Live and bring somebody up on the Facebook Live with you who has your same audience and demographic, but they're serving them in a different way. And now these people are introduced to you because you're leveraging the influence of this other individual. So like you could do lives and you could share information that would help them to solve a problem. You can just create posts, thoughts that you have around problems to the point that you're considered a thought leader in the space, right? You could share customer testimonials or client testimonials before and after depictions. Um, if you have a license of any kind, I mean, normally you have to study for an exam. Take out some of your old textbooks and reframe some of what you learned in your textbooks as content that informs your followers.
And can you let the audience know where they can connect with you again?
Yeah, absolutely. So on Instagram, money.briggs. On Facebook, if you do facebook.com/moneymanbriggs, that would be the second one. Or you could shoot me a text message, 757-703-3211. For the mindset training, just text mindset. Um, if you like to hop on a call of some sort, like 15, 20 minutes, you have a more specific question, you could just text consultation to 757-703-3211.